Well, let's get out to the commodity front. We've got Sri Jagaraja joining us now. Now, Sri, I know that you've been watching this top kill operation from BP in the Gulf of Mexico. We're hearing that it has been suspended so tests can be done, but we're also hearing that it's still going to take at least another 24 hours before we do get any sort of test back. What's the latest on this operation?
You're absolutely correct, Oriel. It's still very much in a state of progress. Still continuing with this operation. We can't declare a victory as of yet. And latest here is that an executive of the company has said we have not yet stopped the flow using the top kill method. As you mentioned, what's going on here is that they have temporarily suspended the operation, essentially just to take a step back and to take stock of where they stand at the moment, to look at the results, to look at the data, and then determine where to go next. Nothing has actually gone wrong here, leading to temporary disruption of the top kill method. It's essentially just a stock-taking process, as I understand it. Right now, there seems to be, there were some conflicting reports on the success or otherwise of this operation. A report in the LA Times citing the US Coast Guard did say that the operation was successful. The Coast Guard later had to essentially clarify that by saying that the operation was ongoing and they needed about 24 to 48 hours to really determine whether it was going to be a success or not. So this really seems to be about managing expectations right now. Remember, this operation hasn't been done before in the types of depths that we're dealing with in the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about 1,500 meters below the Gulf of Mexico. This is an extraordinary deep water operation done by remote-controlled robotic vehicles. So that's a high margin of error, but so far, so good as I understand it. Progress has been made. Some very tentative progress is how I would characterize it. And you can see that being exemplified by the reaction in BP shares in London, up as much as 6%. Similar bullish reaction in the joint venture partners as well. If you look at Halliburton and Transocean, who also have stakes and who also have involvement in the drilling operation too, in the rig that was damaged and sunk to the bottom of the sea as a result of that explosion on April the 20th. Oriel, back to you.
All right, Sri, thank you so much. And, of course, President Barack Obama also taking personal responsibility right now for the spill. Sri, stick around. We're going to just have a chat to Jeff here. Jeff, no, I don't want to ask you directly about the oil spill, but rather repercussions on the oil stocks. Because, you know, obviously we've seen this bounce back. I mean, you look at today's trading session, short term, we've seen this bounce back in oil prices overnight. We're obviously, well, we're likely, I should say, to see a rally in the oil stocks today. Yeah. Is that something that you're going to be interested in?
Not to any great extent. Yeah, we're mainly industrials and mid and small caps. I mean, when we're just talking about the oil spill, it is frightful, you know, what destruction, you know, we can do. But in terms of the market, you know, the opportunities there, obviously, I would say it's another risk. You know, when you're talking about companies, when you're trying to appraise an oil and gas company and it's going to have some deep wells, you know, we've never seen a spill like this before, and we've never seen, you know, probably, you know, the problems that this has occurred. So if you're looking at an oil and gas company and it has, you know, a lot of deep wells, then, you know, arguably that's going to be riskier than the oil and gas company that doesn't have the same. So I actually think, you know, when you're trying to analyse the sector, there will definitely be a greater risk premium put on those companies.
Those that do have
the deep oil wells.
And, of course, on top of that, we're talking about greater regulation over the sector, and in particular those companies.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean, the knee-jerk reaction usually is some additional regulation. I don't know how you do it. It's not necessarily I think the correct way to perform, because in the end everyone's trying to do the right thing. You're always going to have a small percentage of people that do the wrong thing, and you're going to have them doing the wrong thing, whether it's regulation or not. I'm not saying, you know, in this case, obviously everyone's tried to do the right thing. The fact is they just haven't got the technology or the ability to do it, which is the frustrating thing. And that could provide an opportunity for someone else, you know, in terms of someone that actually can develop the technology, so this problem can be solved a lot quicker than it actually has.
Yeah, going forward, and we do hope that is the case. All right, Jeff, thank you so much for that.